Hello everyone. In management account in ratio analysis, today we will discuss sum number 20, Darshan Limited. In this sum, we will find out the ratios. We all have discussed the formulas of ratio, and even we have seen the calculation of the different various ratios also. Today also we will discuss for sum number 20. For amount you have to look it and at your book you will start the sum. The current ratio. First we will find out the current ratio. The formula for current ratio is current assets divided by current liabilities. To find out current assets, we have to add stock plus debtors plus bills receivables plus cash plus prepaid expense. In 2011-12, we have stock for rupees 1,50,000, debtors for 1,20,000, bills receivables for 30,000, cash for 24,000, and prepaid expense for 50,000. So the total will be 3,74,000. In 2012-13, stock is for 1,80,000, debtors are 1,50,000, bills receivables are 40,000, cash is 35,000, and prepaid expenses 70,000. So the total will be 4,75,000. Then we will find out the current liabilities. To find out the current liabilities, we have to add creditors plus bills payables plus staff PF plus bank overdraft. In 2011-12, our creditors are 80,000, bills payables are 20,000, staff PF is 60,000, and bank overdraft is 10,000. So the total will be 1,70,000. In 2012-13, creditors are 90,000, bills payables are 15,000, staff PF is 70,000, and bank overdraft is 15,000. So the total will be 1,90,000. Now we have both the amount current assets and current liabilities. So we will divide current assets by current liabilities. So we will divide 3,74,000 by 1,70,000. So we get the answer 2.2 gem 1. In 2012-13, our current asset is 4,75,000 and our current liabilities is 1,90,000. So we will divide 4,75,000 by 1,90,000. So we get the answer that 2.5 gem 1. Okay. Now we go further for the another ratio. To find out current ratio, we always have to find out current assets and current liabilities, and then we have to divide both with each other. Now we will find out the stock ratio. The ratio for stock is formula is cost of goods sold divided by average stock. Here cost of goods sold is not given, so we have to find out cost of goods sold for both the years. But here it is not mentioned the purchase, opening stock, closing stock. Closing stock we have, but purchase we don't have, so we can't find from previous formula. We have to find out the cost of goods sold with the another formula, that is sales minus gross profit, because we have both the amount. So for 2011-12, our sales was 6,30,000 and our gross profit is 2,52,000. So we get the answer 3,78,000. In 2012-13, 8,01,000 is sales and gross profit is 2,72,600. So we get the answer 4,37,400. Then we will find out the average stock, that is opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Our opening stock for 2011-12 is 1,30,000 plus closing stock is 1,50,000 divided by 2. So 2,80,000 divided by 2 is equal to 1,40,000. 2012-13, our opening stock is 1,50,000, our closing stock is 1,80,000 divided by 2. So 3,30,000 divided by 2 is equal to 1,65,000. So now we are having the amounts for cost of goods sold and average stock. So we have to keep the amount in the formula, and we will keep the amount, that stock ratio formula, that 3,78,000 divided by 1,40,000. So we get the answer 2.7 times. Now in 2012-13 stock ratio, we have to keep 4,37,400 divided by 1,65,000. So the answer will be 2.65 times. Now for stock ratio, we have to have both the amount, cost of goods sold, as well as average stock. So both the amount we have to keep in the formula. Now we will go for the further ratio, that is debtors ratio. So for debtors ratio, we will keep the formula. So debtors ratio's formula is, debtors ratio is equal to debtors plus bills receivable divided by credit sales into number of days. Here we have to find out the cash sales and credit sales both. We have to assume that credit sales is 5. Why? Because cash sales is the 4/5 portion of credit sale. So 5, if we assume the amount 5, then it is very easy to find out the cash sales. So we assume that credit sales is equal to 5 and cash sales is equal to 4, because 5 into 4 by 5 is equal to 4. So the total sale will be 9, because 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. Now we will find out the cells from the total cells on the proportion. We have already seen one sum, same kind of the sum. That cash sales is total sale is 6,30,000 in 2011-12. So for cash sale, we have to find out 6,30,000 into 4 by 9. So 2,80,000. So credit sales, to find out the credit sales, we have to do 6,30,000 into 5 by 9, that is 3,50,000. 2012, for 2012-13 we will go same way. Cash sales is equal to 8,10,000 into 4 by 9 is equal to 3,60,000. Credit sales will be 8,10,000 divided into 5 by 9 is equal to 4,50,000. Now we'll keep the amount in the debtors ratio, that is 1,20,000 plus 30,000 divided by 3,50,000 into 360 days. So it will be 154 days. For 2012-13, it is 1,50,000 plus 40,000 divided by 4,50,000 into 360. So we'll find the 152 days. So if there is any kind of information is given which is proportionate the credit and cash sales, we have to find out the credit and cash sales according this formula, according to this assumption. Okay. Now we'll go for next and last ratio for this sum, that is return on equity share. The formula for return on equity share is equal to net profit minus preference share dividend divided by equity share capital into 100. Now here we have to have the net profit, that is profit after interest and tax. So we have to find out the profit after interest and tax. So we have to make the tables like this, because by this way we will find out the profit for both the years. particulars 2011-12 and 2012-13. Now we have the earning before interest and tax, that is 2,50,250, and in 2012-13 it is 3,60,000. We have to minus interest on debenture. Our debenture is 1,20,000 and it is for 10%. So we will minus the interest, that is 12,000 for each year. So we have to minus it, and the answer will be 2,38,250. And for 2012-13 it is 3,48,000. Then we have to minus the taxation, that is 50%. So we will minus 1,19,125 and 1,74,000. Whenever we minus the 50%, we will get the same amount. So our answer will be 1,19,125 and 1,74,000. Now we'll keep the amount in the formula. So return on equity share for 2011-12, we will keep 1,19,125 minus preference share dividend 20,000, because we have the preference share capital 2 lakh into 10%, divided by 3 lakh, because our equity share capital is 3 lakh into 100. So our percentage will be 33.04 percentage. For 2012-13 it is 1,74,000 minus 25,000, because our preference share capital increased in 2012-13, that is 2,50,000. 10% of 2,50,000 is 25,000, and even our equity share capital is also 4 lakhs. So we get the answer 37.25. Okay, so this is the last formula for this sum. Now we will just see one more sum in the ratio analysis, and that will be the last sum for the ratio analysis. So I will suggest you all that please do practice with the another sums similar like this, even examples also. And if you find any difficulties, please ask me, so that we will resolve your doubts and queries. And from next video we will meet with another and last sum for the ratio analysis. So till that, keep practicing and stay home, stay safe. Thank you.